Now, the rest of the story.
Like I said, nothing money can't fix. Went through $109 later. A whole assembly for all of this. Did it for 2 of the bearings because I want to get this thing put together right now. I'm not even going to do everything because I'm just going to put this side together and get that back together so I can at least get the tractor out of there, because I need the 76 and this baler can sit and wait. The way things are looking right now, I'm trying to get things in order to hopefully put something in the ground here in the next couple days. 30 degrees was the overnight last night. This is in Fahrenheit. Then we went through and had, what was it? I think a high of maybe 40, potentially 38 today. It's cold out. And then tonight's overnight, Monday night going into Tuesday, is down to 28. And then it looks like we're going to have a change in the weather, and it's going to start gradually warming up, where we're getting the overnights in the low 40s. And we're getting closer to the 1st of May. Once you get past the 1st of May, or to the 1st of May, you quit looking at the thermometers and you just start planting. So I'll get this back in. I had to do a tack weld right here because this little piece, the tip of my finger, that whole piece was out. Burned in there pretty hot, and have a little bit of weld sticking out here, which will be fine because this is where it mounts to, so there's nothing where that's gonna hit, compared to where it was back here where the bearing holder, I was gonna have to sit flush on it. So the plan is with these, because I have another one in the parts bin as a Mayday used, but I can still throw it in and at least finish bearing. There's a local company that we can actually order bearings from. We're going to pop these out of here, out of these holders, because the holders, this one and the other one are actually fine, because normally what's happened in the past, what tends to happen unfortunately, is that you destroy this carrier also. But if we can go down and actually order just the bearing and then slam it in these carriers for less than $109, I mean, we'll be money ahead there. So that's the plan for that. I'm going to slam this back together, and then I got to go check my calf, tag my calf. So yeah, let me get to it. Well, we got the welder out. Bench is somewhat clean. We got the switch box over there. We got the dooski there trying to keep me powered up, which is not helping, by the way. And oh, that's not good. So I went to go use the 7600 for the first time since, fixing the seat. And what do we have here? Well, I believe I said 4 times a charm. Good news is I just ran the tractor for about 4 hours, and the suspension works. Holds air for the last 36 hours. I'm going to call that a mild win. So, as I was pulling into the field that I was going to be working on, which that hub doesn't look too bad, but you notice how the rear tires aren't exactly yellow anymore. I took my 22B mole plow and I went and caused a little bit of trouble, and unfortunately there's no video footage, and I discovered a characteristic, a downside. Got a loose thing there. We gotta fix. When it comes to my mole plow, what I've come to find out, and yes, it's only 32 degrees out, so I'm cold, was there was a part of the field that was holding water, standing water, all right? So the plan was, I'm going to swear a little bit here, to go through and back up to it with the mole plow, drop the mole plow in it, and drive off. The downside to that is because it's springtime. Okay, so springtime in the 30s, there's no real heat, sunshine, a little bit of sunshine, but nothing that's really encouraging that ground to dry out. So the soil that is surrounding those low-lying water-holding areas remains soggy. So what happens is that you drop your one shank mow plow ripper into the ground. You drive away because the 7600 has, you know, ponies for days and traction to boot. And what happens is while the ripper is doing its job, you're also leaving about foot deep ruts with your tires through the soggy soil. But the problem is, to park where the soil isn't going to rut up, the ripper isn't doing anything. So big downside to the ripper. If it was up to me, I would go through, I'm planning on going through either after first cut or after second cut. And granted, I just came from a field that wasn't the valley. For those of you that are wondering if I took it down to the valley and I didn't film it, no, I did not. I went to a different field. I went to bottom number 2. And as far as the valley goes, I'm glad I didn't go down to the grass valley, because I found out that's what's going to happen when I try to drag that ripper across this ground this spring right now. And I do not want those kind of ruts down at the valley. Not now. I mean, everything did green up a little bit here. We hit the 70s. I do not want to have to deal with ruts. So after first cut, if we have some low areas that will hopefully have dried out, because I usually cut up to them anyway, so the ground will have been exposed and able to dry out after we get the material off. I'll be able to drive up to them at that point in time, and if need be, then drop the ripper down, back up to it, drop the ripper, and drive away. But here's the problem. It's a ripper. It isn't a straight shank ripper. It was a parabolic ripper. So it's got a big curve to it, so it heaves the ground up. So then you leave these big mounds of dirt. Really don't like to have to deal with that either. So what's potentially most likely going to happen is this fall, after I'm done making hay off the valley, I know where the wet areas are. Ideally, I do it with 4640 because that is auto track, you know, nice straight lines, you know. I'll go down with the ripper. I will have already decided everywhere I need to go with it beforehand. And I will go through and I will put in my poor man's tiling this fall so it can work throughout next year, next winter. So hopefully next spring, I'll get the advantage of it. So I went down on the bottom number 2. I went across it on some lower areas. The one area it was with the standing water was meh. I mean, that was a trial by fire, and not entirely crazy what I just did to it, but we get some heat and whatnot. It's not like I'm gonna be dragging a planter across it, at least for a little while yet. So as time to dry out, we can fix that up with the disc. But you guys are here to see about this seat. I just figured, I'm having people ask why I'm not going across the bottom with that single shank ripper, and that's why. I would most certainly do more damage down at the grass valley. I would do more damage, infinitely more damage right now, than I would see any kind of benefit from it. The best thing I could have done was spread my fertilizer and mind my dang business and stay off of it. Let Mother Nature run its course. And I would like to put that 90-gallon sprayer in the back of the Gator if we got time. I mean, I'm kind of thinking about planting tomorrow or the next day, so, you know, things get busy. But I was going to run across it with that Radiate, that, you know, plant growth regulator, and do like a couple diagonal passes across every field down there and see if I can't see any visible differences by spraying my first cut with that Radiate. Because if I can, that's going to give me some pretty stern incentive to go through and like drag the sprayer out and try to get across it next year. I mean, which with the duals in the 46 for this time of year, I'm certain I got the flotation to do it. It's just doing it. So what I got to do is this right here is a failed weld, and lucky me, it's a product of myself, my own destructive tendencies. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, in these rails that you can definitely tell they're new. I mean, they're not that old. When that latch doesn't lock the seat solid and you hit the brakes, if you guys have ever seen the movie Top Gun, if you hit the brakes in the tractor, hit the brakes and you'll fly right by. That is exactly what happens to your knees, especially when you're a tall guy like me, and your knees impact right around here. You can even see the dust on there from my knees hitting it, and that's not something I can let happen. I want to go through, gotta pressure wash it off. I'm going to scrub the windows on this, the 46 and the 82. I was able to find, well, the find it literally fell off in my hand because I was reaching up under there trying to figure out what was going on. And what I got to do is, does that look right to you guys? Doesn't look right to me. Let's see here. Something like right about there, right? The great news is, because of my destructive tendencies, see, no, that doesn't look right. Aha, there we go. What I'm going to do is gosh, Travis. You know what's going to happen is I should take off these Jesus clips and pop that bad boy out there and take it over where I can properly weld on it. Well, for the amount of WD-40 and whatnot I have sitting on this bad boy, I probably should. But you know, it's 5 o'clock at night and I got about 30 more things I'm going to do yet tonight. So what I'm going to do is slap that bad boy back on there, do a bzzz down across there, get that all good and hot and warm and burnt in. You can see I've already done plenty of burning on it. All the welding that's been done down underneath, that's been fixed twice now. The third time that's going to be welded again because I really do not want to know what's going to cost to replace that. I mean, that Baler, that one right there, the one that's sitting out in the freaking weather, because you know what, I don't got room for you or time to deal with you right now. That thing's hitting me for like $100 a crack every time that I gotta like literally work at anything on it. So I got 2 bearings, each bearing's over $100. Giant sprocket, which actually surprised me, it's only $120, but we better not talk about the Baler anymore. And I haven't even looked at the new one yet. So this guy still looks good. What I'm gonna do is, it is bent a little bit. I'm gonna hit that with a hammer and bend that back down. I'm not the world's greatest mechanic. I'm the world's greatest I'll get it to work guy. And I'll get that on there and you guys can see what the final product is. Second, I need new air freshener. So let me see if I can't start myself on fire. Okay. You guys don't have motion sickness. Quick fixes. I like them. So I ended up taking this guy off. It's just 2 Jesus clips, and actually it made it a lot easier pulling these springs out. I came to the conclusion I didn't have to tack weld this guy or hit it with a hammer. They're still straight. It's just the weld gave, which is a product of me getting very aggressive with it, trying to get this chair out. But hopefully now that the suspension is good, get this in, the welds are good on the seat here, tighten that guy up. Shouldn't have to worry about the seat for a while. We got any wood around here? Knock on wood. By pulling this off, I did actually burn it in pretty good. Not my most prettiest welds. If I'd gone through and cleaned it up, blah, 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 but we're sitting on it. It's not like we're going to see it. I was wondering why. Seems how this side was still healthy. It just was missing this right here. The spring is actually spent. Or the spring is sprung. So the spring wasn't as taut as this one. So when this one was gone, I think this one's doing 80 to 90% of the actual work as far as keeping this tight. So because now it springs back with conviction. This guy actually isn't stretched as bad because I actually just put it in the vise and smashed it back where it should be. If her one was as tall as me, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but Dad and Ryan tend to slide the seat ahead on me, otherwise it'd be left all the way back. But I guess sometimes when Kevin and Dale and Randy help too, I think Dale was definitely using the seat adjuster, sliding it ahead. But should be good for everybody that wants to use it. So I'm going to slam this bad boy back in here, put a new little tree air freshener thingy on it, and the 76 will, I don't know if I really want to risk getting another cold or whatever, and washing this bad boy down, do the windows. And tomorrow's probably going to be get all the big boy toys out and start doing some field work. Well, until next time, I gotta go tag a calf, which I could tack at the end of this video, I don't know, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Talk to you guys later.